Hello and welcome to Wednesday Debate Live with Tagreed Hussein here on Nile TV International. Tonight we'll be following up on two segments of the show. On the first segment, we'll be tackling the regional developments as Egypt has condemned in the strongest and the harshest terms the blatant Israeli aggression against the sisterly state of Qatar. We'll be reading more into the serious risks that attack entails to the stability of the whole region and the expansion also of confrontations at the expense of the safety of civilians. So we'll be reading more through the top stories of the day and following up on the latest headlines making the top stories for this hour, as His Excellency President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi held a phone call with His Royal Highness Sheikh Mash'al al-Ahmad al-Jaber al-Sabah, the Emir of Kuwait. The presidency spokesman asserted that both leaders saw eye to eye vis-à-vis the regional developments, on top of which comes the Israeli aggression on the state of Qatar, denouncing and slamming this flagrant violation of international law and the UN Charter, a totally unacceptable attack against the sovereignty of a brotherly Arab nation. Both leaders affirmed the solidarity with Qatar at this critical moment, supporting all efforts to secure the state of Qatar, security and stability. The phone call also tackled the developments of the situation in Gaza and the dire need for an immediate ceasefire. President Sisi and the Emir of Kuwait agreed to continue mutual consultations and coordination between both countries, hence bolstering the historic deep-rooted relations that bind both Egypt and Kuwait. Reading the headline, we're really honored to have with us His Excellency Ambassador Dr. Mohamed Hegazy, former assistant to the Foreign Minister. Your Excellency, good evening to you.
Good evening, Tagreed.
Well, as we have earlier witnessed, Your Excellency, the important phone call with His Royal Highness Sheikh Mash'al al-Ahmad al-Jaber al-Sabah, His Excellency President Sisi asserted on the importance of the solidarity of the sisterly state of Qatar. And as we can see, Israel's approach is definitely reflecting intention to destroy calm chances. So you're reading, Your Excellency, vis-à-vis this attack against Qatar and the serious risks, in your opinion, as it entails to the security of the entire region. Ambassador.
Thank you very much, Tagreed. Definitely the serious and unlawful attack of Israel on the state of Qatar have brought the Arab leader, in particular President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi and his brother Sheikh Mash'al of Kuwait to discuss the matter further and to look into what can the Arab country, the Arab League countries do to deal with the ramification of such important attack that has threatened the sovereignty of an Arab Gulf state, at the same time add to the Israeli unrestricted, supported American position, and the matter is now very serious, and the regional instability has become part of the Israeli moves beyond even confronting Hamas. to raid on the sovereignty of an Arab state. The discussion between the two leaders definitely examined what can we together work to establish a new reality instead of the reality that Netanyahu is trying to establish in the region. That this array has to stop. The Israeli unrestricted moves has to stop. The world community should carry their responsibility. Today, the condemnation of the Security Council is very important, but Arab solidarity, Tahrir, is very important.
Yes.
For me, if you ask me what best can Qatar and the Arab world do, is to gather in a form of an Arab regional forum to discuss the matter and to establish a new structure of peace and stability in the Middle East, similar to this of Europe, who have established after Helsinki 1975 a setup of rules, 10 rules in particular, that led to the establishment of the Helsinki process and to the structure of peace and security in Europe. The Arab region and the Middle Eastern region, comprising Turkey, Iran, Egypt, Saudi Arabia, the Gulf states, as well as the Arab countries, Jordan, among many, can sit together and decided in the presence of the UN the UN Secretary General and the European Union, if the United States want to join hands to regain a positive momentum in the region, to re-establish peace and security. Mind you, Tahrir, only the Middle East that has no political regional security structure of peace and cooperation. This is a matter that created the vacuum that allowed to search for a security structure in the Middle East that only serve Israel. And time has come that the responsible countries like Egypt, Turkey, Saudi Arabia and Iran sit together with the other Arab and Middle Eastern countries to decide on the future of stability in the region. You may recall that a couple of days ago, the Saudi-Egyptian declaration that came after the ministerial meeting of the Arab League, the joint declaration of both countries have called on a regional peace and security structure for peace, security and cooperation, similar to the one Europe has established after the Second World War. We need to inject rationale, we need to inject more stability in a region torn by the unlawful actor, an actor who is dealing with all matters with force, with full support with the United States, in alignment that has brought the Middle East to such disarray, and the world in general, being it on the political, military, or even economic front, in a disarray that we haven't witnessed before. My final words, Tahrir, is that we need definitely to work hand in hand to establish a new reality in the Middle East based on security and cooperation, and the first step may be to call for a meeting in Cairo where the parties that I have identified sit together and establish this new structure, and maybe in New York next couple of days in the General Assembly they can gather again and issue a declaration of principles.
Yes.
That maintain peace and security, and establish a principle document that has to be govern the region and respected by all the parties. This is what Europe has done, and this is the way forward for a region that has been the only region in the world without any security and cooperation structure.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency, Ambassador Dr. Mohamed Hegazy, former assistant to the Foreign Minister, reading with us the main headline of the day. On the second segment tonight, we'll be turning our attention to one of the most vital pillars of national development. We're talking healthcare. And as we know that Egypt has embarked on an ambitious journey in order to modernize its health sector and also include, of course, cutting-edge technology. So from the comprehensive health insurance system to the mega projects like the Nile Medical City, the country is definitely laying the groundwork for health in the future. What lies ahead, and what can Egypt how can Egypt balance the sense of innovation with accessibility is another point. How Egypt is turning today into a medical hub, providing services, providing also research and investment opportunities in the medical field. That's our topic of discussion for tonight. And with those initiatives like the health insurance system and landmark projects like the Nile Medical City, Egypt is not only expanding access to quality care, but also opening new horizons of cooperation in medical research and in digital health innovation and also foreign investment. Let's watch this report.
President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi gave his directives to conduct a study to establish the Egyptian Center for Disease Control and Prevention and the Egyptian Center for Precision Medicine as two preemptive axes to address global challenges related to the epidemics and diseases and to develop the Egyptian medical system. President el-Sisi's comments were given during a meeting with Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli and Deputy Prime Minister of Human Development and Minister of Health and Population, Dr. Khaled Abdel Ghaffar. The spokesman for the presidency, Ambassador Mohamed al-Shinnawi, said President el-Sisi reviewed the performance of indicators of the comprehensive health insurance system and the implementation status of the project's second phase, which includes the governments of Kafr al-Sheikh, Matruh, North Sinai, Damietta and Minya. The President gave his directives for the rapid integration of those governorates into the system according to the designated timetables, in addition to studying the inclusion of Alexandria in the coming period, while emphasizing the importance of activating the role of the private and civil sectors in supporting the system nationwide. President el-Sisi followed up on the progress of the healthcare infrastructure projects during the meeting. The President stressed the need to rapidly complete the Nile Medical City and the Nile Specialized Children's Hospital project currently being constructed on the grounds of the Nasser Institute. The head of state also stressed the significance of closely monitoring the implementation rates of the National Central Laboratories project in Badr City and the Capital Medical City project affiliated with the General Organization for Teaching Hospitals and Institutes. This includes 4,200 beds and 18 specialized medical institutes. Moreover, the President stressed the rapid completion of the draft law regulating the establishment of private medical facilities and their operation within the framework of the state support for investment in the medical sector and in integration with the comprehensive health insurance system. The President stressed that it was important for the relevant state agencies to continue encouraging the private sector to invest in Egypt in the medical field and the pharmaceutical industry. For his part, Minister Abdel Ghaffar reviewed the latest developments pertinent to 15 presidential initiatives, including the initiative to eliminate waiting lists and provide treatment at state expense. The President emphasized the need to focus on reducing waiting lists for surgical procedures and providing treatment for critical cases while enhancing mechanisms to expedite procedures and ensure access to services for the most needy. The head of state also gave his directives to adopt all necessary measures to implement a program to use non-invasive glucose monitoring devices for children with type 1 diabetes in care for children's health. The Minister of Health and Population reviewed the progress made in implementing the National Population Strategy in light of the positive results of the Egyptian Family Health Survey. President Sisi gave his directives to intensify efforts to address demographic challenges by enhancing community awareness and educational programs so as to achieve sustainable population balance.